The rash of bullying cases targeting gay teenagers. Joel Burns, a city councilman in Fort Worth, Texas, was so moved that he decided to share his own personal story during last week's council meeting. Now his emotional speech has gone viral. We'll talk to him in a moment, but first, NBC's Miguel Almaguer has the story.
I have never told this story to anyone before tonight.
A private story, a public venue.
There must be something very wrong with me, I thought.
With cameras rolling and colleagues by his side, Fort Worth City Councilman Joel Burns broke his silence.
But the numerous suicides in recent days have upset me so much.
The 41-year-old displayed photos of teenagers, kids who had recently taken their lives, taunted by bullies because they were perceived as gay. Then,
coming out was painful.
Joel Burns shared his story.
One day when I was in the 9th grade, just starting Crowley High School, I was cornered after school by some older kids who roughed me up. They said that I was a failure and that I should die and go to hell where I belonged.
Burns spoke out because he had seen enough. There was 13-year-old Seth Walsh from California, 13-year-old Asher Brown in Texas, and 18-year-old Tyler Clemente, the Rutgers student in New Jersey. All recently committed suicide, teenagers reportedly tormented by their peers.
This story is for the young people who might be holding that gun tonight, or the rope, or the pill bottle.
Burns could relate. When he was 13, he says he too contemplated suicide. His story went viral, 1.5 million hits on YouTube in less than a week. And it's not just the Texas councilman affected by the headlines.
I attempted to kill myself.
A public service announcement from a reality TV star is now on the air.
This needs to be a wake-up call to everyone. That
teen suicide is the talk of talk shows, but it was the Texas councilman's story that seemed to connect with so many.
To those who are feeling very alone tonight, please know that I understand how you feel, but things will get easier. Please stick around to make those happy memories for yourself.
Burns was given a standing ovation, but what he wants is to save young lives. For today, Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Joel Burns, good morning.
Good morning.
Before I talk more about what you said, talk to me about getting to that point. Talk to me about the decision to actually say, okay, it's time now to speak out publicly.
Well, given my own personal experience, every time, particularly through September, that you would read story after story after story of some kid taking their lives, I thought, we have to do something about this. And on Monday of last week, I read the story of a young man named Zach who committed suicide after attending a city council meeting. And I thought, if some kid kills themselves after going to a council meeting in Oklahoma, I'm certainly warranted to spend my time on Tuesday at my council meeting in Texas talking about this.
You sat down on Tuesday morning, you wrote this, you
Yes.
said to the mayor, I have something I want to say, and I understand you said that to the mayor so that you wouldn't back out. And it was kind of, you were committed at that point.
Yes.
As you sat there and grabbed the mic, can you explain the emotions that were going through your mind? This was a momentous step you were about to take.
It was an effort to reach out, and at the time I was just thinking about kids in Fort Worth, but it was an effort to say, even if you're in a really, really dark place, there's a lifetime of happy memories that you can make if you just hang on long enough to get there.
You talk personally, you spoke from the heart, you spoke from experience about the time you had been through as a young man in junior high school and high school, that incident you talk about in the speech, getting roughed up by a group of kids. Let me ask you what got you through that time. You know, what was it that was different about you? Where did you find the strength to keep going?
I was fortunate that I had, incredibly loving family, great parents, and a lot of friends. I was fortunate to have the confidence that I think some kids don't have today, or even back then, and because of that, it helped to get me through that time.
This idea, though, when you talk to these other teens who are out there, whether they're gay or straight, but they're being bullied, and you say it gets easier, what would you say to the young man or young woman out there who doesn't believe you, who says it can't get better, this is the worst, my life is going to be like this forever? How do you convince them that there is light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, I think first our adults in our lives actually need to take the step and the responsibility to step in and talk to the teachers, administrators, everyone else that they interact with, and also empower the kids that maybe are not being bullied at the time, but to talk to their fellow classmates and whatnot, and let them know that there's someone there to back them up.
You made this speech on Tuesday, Joel, and since that time, 1.5 million people have gone online to watch this speech. First of all, your reaction to that, and then what kind of response are you getting from the people who've watched this?
I think the 1.5 million views, I remember being shocked, stunned when it got to 5,000. I couldn't believe it, and it's just gone from there. So obviously that's a little overwhelming, but I think it's indicative of where we are in society. I have a sister who for 7 years has been a teacher in a rural school district, and she told me the night after I made these comments, she said, "You wouldn't believe how bad the bullying's gotten. It's girls, it's boys, it's gay kids, it's straight kids, and it's for all sorts of reasons, whether they're gay or perceived to be gay, overweight,
Are you hearing from some of the teens? Are you getting messages?
I've received over 20,000 emails so far, and I have an entire army of friends helping me kind of cull through those to make sure that there's no crisis that is missed. But yes, there's stories of people, kids who are saying that they are contemplating this week taking their lives.
Briefly, you didn't do this for publicity.
No.
Will you continue to speak out on this subject?
It's absolutely necessary, and I'm happy to do so, but I think all of us need to step up and take a role and responsibility as adults in making sure that none of these kids feel like they're without worth and that they never take their own lives.
Joel Burns, good to have you here this morning, Joel. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
It's 8:15. Up next, new information on how the 9 months before birth can shape the rest of our lives. We'll talk about that right after this.